Welcome to this explainer. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes for just a second. Imagine being born into a world where, well, pretty much everything wants you dead. A world where hunger is just a constant companion, where danger is literally hiding behind every single bush, and where even your own family, they can't always protect you. This is the brutal, totally unforgiving reality of life as a lion cub. We're talking about a story of pure survival in one of the absolute most dangerous places on Earth, the African savannah. All right, let's dive right into this. When we think of lions, we usually picture dominance, right? We think of these magnificent kings just ruling over their vast domain. So we really have to ask ourselves, what is actually the most dangerous phase of a lion's life? Is it when they're out there defending their territory, or maybe hunting down some massive, dangerous prey? Well, the truth is, the greatest struggle isn't ruling the African savanna at all. It is simply surviving infancy.
Section 1. Born into danger. The vulnerable beginning. So our story doesn't begin with this massive, earth-shaking roar. Nope, it starts in total silence, usually tucked away beneath the shade of a lonely acacia tree. Here, completely hidden from the rest of the pride, a lioness gives birth. And let me tell you, the tiny cubs that enter the world are blind, they're incredibly weak, and they weigh little more than your average house cat. I mean, just compare that to the fearsome apex predator they're eventually expected to become. It is a staggering transformation. For the first few weeks of their lives, these tiny creatures are completely 100% dependent on their mom. Let's be totally clear here. Without her, these little house cat-sized cubs absolutely would not survive a single day. But danger has already arrived. Because out in the wild, being born is literally just the very beginning of the struggle. Section 2. The enemy within. The first major threat. Now, most people just assume that external predators, other species entirely, are the biggest threat to these fragile little cubs. But the truth is actually far darker. The greatest threat, it often comes from other lions. Yeah, you heard that right. When a new male lion takes over a pride, his absolute hardwired instinct is to secure his own bloodline. And that means he may kill cubs that aren't his own. It's honestly one of nature's harshest, most uncompromising realities. So for these cubs, danger can come right from within their own kingdom, from the very top of their social structure. And this is exactly why lionesses are forced to hide their newborn cubs far, far away from the rest of the pride. Every single day they manage to remain hidden is just another day survived. Section 3. The hunger problem. The battle for food. As the cubs grow a bit older and start to integrate with the pride, another terrifying challenge pops up on the horizon. Food. See, lion cubs simply cannot hunt. They don't have the size, they don't have the skill, and they definitely lack the strength, so they rely entirely on the adults to provide for them. And understanding the brutal hierarchy of the savanna dinner table is absolutely crucial here. When a kill is made, the strongest male lions, they step up and take their fill first. Next come the lionesses, the very hunters who actually brought the prey down in the first place. And finally, the cubs eat last. Sometimes by the time it's their turn, there's barely anything left but bone. During severe droughts, literally days can pass without a single scrap of food. The cubs become weaker. You start to see their ribs showing right through their fur. For so many young lions, agonizing hunger becomes their very first true life-or-death battle. Section 4. The Savannah's Gauntlet. Danger everywhere. Okay, so if they manage to survive the hunger, they still have to face the landscape itself. The African savanna is basically a giant gauntlet, perfectly designed to test the weak. It is absolutely packed with enemies, just waiting for a curious little cub to wander a little too far from its mom's side. We're talking hyenas, leopards, wild dogs, crocodiles lurking right there in the shallows. Even giant eagles descending from the sky can and will attack very young cubs. If a lion cub loses sight of its mother, it can literally disappear in moments, just snatched away before a sound can even be made. Because of this relentless, non-stop pressure, cubs spend a huge chunk of their early life learning one absolute rule: stay close, stay alert, stay alive. It is the steady drumbeat of their daily existence, a rhythm of just absolute constant vigilance. Section 5. The hyena threat. Danger in the dark. As the blistering sun finally sets and night falls across the savanna, the shadows stretch out and a terrifying new danger emerges: the hyena clans. These guys move together. They are highly intelligent, endlessly patient, and they are always looking for a moment of weakness. A cub that gets separated from the pride in the dark, that becomes an incredibly easy target. Many lionesses have had to fight off entire clans of hyenas, literally putting their own lives on the line just to protect their young. I want you to imagine the scene. The battles are incredibly fierce. Thick dust is filling the night air. Deep, guttural growls are echoing through the terrifying darkness. And the harsh, unfiltered truth of the savannah is that sometimes not every cub survives the night. Section 6. Learning to be a lion. The Savannah Classroom. Now, for those lucky enough to actually survive these early trials, life does slowly begin to change. They start to explore the wider world around them. They'll stalk insects in the tall grass. They'll chase after birds taking flight. They pounce and rustle around with each other. Now, to our eyes, this just looks like innocent, adorable play, right? Like kittens tumbling around in a living room. But in reality, this is lethal training for adulthood. Every single jump, every chase, every mispounce and a little mistake prepares them for the day they absolutely must bring down prey to survive. The savannah is their classroom, and let me tell you, survival is literally the only lesson that matters. Section 7. The Dry Season Crucible. A Deadly Journey. Just as these cubs start to find their footing, the environment just turns completely against them. The dry season arrives. First, the water disappears from all the usual watering holes. Then, that lush green grass turns brown and brittle, making prey desperately hard to find. The pride is suddenly forced to travel farther than ever before, undertaking these long, absolutely exhausting journeys across the baking earth. For young cubs, this journey is a serious breaking point. Their tiny little legs struggle to keep up. The heat is absolutely relentless. Some of them begin to fall behind, and out there in the vast African wilderness, falling behind is a fatal mistake. Section 8. Growing Up. The Path to Independence. As the months pass, the cubs that manage to endure the dry season become stronger. Those fluffy little baby spots start to fade into the sleek golden coat of an adult. Their muscles grow, and you can see their confidence really surge. But a monumental challenge is waiting for them, and it diverges entirely based on who they are. Male cubs? Well, one day they'll be violently forced to leave the only family they've ever known. They're going to wander alone, facing starvation, rival territorial lions, and just endless uncertainty as they try to claim a pride of their own. Female cubs, on the other hand, they might actually get to remain with the pride, eventually inheriting the territory. But their lives become totally bound to the endless cycle of hunting and defending the next generation. For both of them, though, survival is never, ever guaranteed. Section 9. The Survivors. Beating impossible odds. When we take a step back and really look at this journey, it is truly staggering. By the time a lion cub actually reaches adulthood, it has beaten odds that seem basically mathematically impossible. Many, many lions just never make it that far. To reach adulthood, they have defeated disease, they have outrun or managed to hide from predators, they have endured periods of brutal starvation. They've survived bloody conflict. Nature, man, it is entirely unforgiving. It definitely does not grade on a curve. Which leads us directly to this really profound realization. Every single adult lion you see today was once a tiny cub that survived countless dangers. They are the ultimate survivors of what is arguably one of the toughest childhoods in the entire animal kingdom. Life as a lion cub is definitely not filled with glamorous adventure. It's filled with relentless challenges. Every day is a test. Every single night is a massive risk. Every meal is totally uncertain. Yet, despite all these unimaginable dangers, some cubs do endure. They grow stronger. They become the mighty hunters, the fierce protectors, the undeniable leaders. And one day, a tiny, blind, helpless cub hiding beneath a lonely tree might just rise to become the absolute king of the savannah. But first, it must survive childhood. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Next time you see a majestic lion just staring out across the African plains, bathed in that beautiful golden light, will you see a king who is just handed a throne? Or will you see the ultimate survivor, forged in the fires of a truly brutal beginning?